My name is Maya, and for 3 years I thought I was doing the responsible thing. My grandfather opened Maple Street Diner back in the 70s. Red vinyl booths, a chalkboard menu that never really changed, coffee that regulars swore was better than anywhere else in town. When he passed, my mother ran it for a while, and when she got sick, my Aunt Priscilla stepped in to manage the day-to-day. I had a corporate job 2 states away, and honestly, I was relieved someone I trusted was handling it. Priscilla had worked there since she was a teenager. She knew every recipe, every regular's order, every supplier by first name. I sent money every month to cover payroll and my share of expenses. Priscilla sent me spreadsheets, tidy, organized, everything accounted for. Revenue was steady, she said, nothing to worry about. I visited twice a year, usually around the holidays. The diner always looked fine, busy even. Priscilla would walk me through the books at the kitchen table after closing, and I'd nod along, trusting the numbers because I trusted her. Then one Tuesday afternoon, my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize, area code from back home. Is this Maya, owner of Maple Street Diner? The voice was tired, a little irritated. This is Frank from Bellamy Produce. We've been supplying you guys for 15 years now? I need to talk to you directly because I can't get a straight answer from your aunt anymore. My stomach tightened. What's going on? We're 3 months behind on payment. I've sent invoices, I've called, I've stopped by. Priscilla keeps telling me a check is coming. I like your family, Maya, I really do. That's the only reason I haven't cut you off already, but I've got my own bills. 3 months behind. That wasn't possible. I sent Priscilla money every single month specifically earmarked for suppliers. Let me look into it, I told him. Please don't stop deliveries yet. I hung up and sat there for a long moment, feeling something shift underneath everything I thought I understood about my own family's business. I called Priscilla that evening. She answered cheerful as always. Maya, everything okay? I got a call from Frank at Bellamy Produce. He says we're 3 months behind on payment. There was a pause, just half a second too long. Oh, that old thing. There was a mix-up with the vendor account. I'm sorting it out. You know how these small suppliers get dramatic over paperwork delays? 3 months isn't a paperwork delay, Priscilla. I'll handle it, Maya. I always handle it, don't you trust me? That question landed strangely. Of course I trusted her. I'd trusted her for 3 years with everything. But something about the way she said it, a little too fast, a little defensive, sat wrong in my chest the rest of the night. I couldn't sleep. Around midnight, I opened the shared expense folder Priscilla updated monthly and started actually reading through it line by line, instead of skimming the totals like I always did. Most of it matched what I expected. But there was a recurring entry every few weeks labeled simply miscellaneous operating costs, amounts ranging from $300 to over $1,000. No receipts attached, no explanation. I added them up going back a full year, just under $18,000. I told myself there had to be an explanation. Equipment repairs, maybe, or something she'd forgotten to itemize properly. I decided I needed to see things in person, not through a spreadsheet Priscilla controlled. I booked a flight for that weekend, telling her only that I missed home and wanted to visit. I didn't mention Frank again. The diner looked exactly the way it always did, warm, familiar, the bell above the door announcing me the same way it had my whole childhood. Priscilla hugged me tight, seeming genuinely happy to see me, which made everything that followed feel even harder. I spent the first day just watching how she handled the register, how she talked to the staff, how comfortable and confident she seemed in that space. It was easy to see why I'd trusted her blindly for so long. On the second day, I told her I wanted to go through the books together properly, in detail, the way we hadn't in years. She hesitated just slightly before agreeing. We sat at that same kitchen table where she used to walk me through numbers during my holiday visits. This time, I asked about every miscellaneous operating costs line myself, one by one, instead of letting her summarize. The first few she explained smoothly. A broken freezer compressor, a plumbing issue in the back, reasonable enough. But by the fifth one, her explanations started running together, vague and inconsistent, dates that didn't line up with when she claimed the repairs happened. Priscilla, I said quietly, where's this money actually going? She didn't answer right away. She stood up, walked to the window, and stood there with her back to me for a long moment. It's not what you think, she finally said. Then tell me what it is. When she turned around, her eyes were wet. I have a problem, Maya, a gambling problem. It started small a few years ago, just something to unwind with after closing. I told myself I'd stop. I kept telling myself that, and every time I lost more than I meant to, I just borrowed a little from the diner account to cover it, promising myself I'd pay it back before anyone noticed. I sat there processing what she'd just told me, feeling a strange mix of anger and something almost like grief. This wasn't a stranger scheming to take something from me. This was my aunt, someone who had genuinely loved this diner, unraveling quietly under something she was too ashamed to admit. How much, Priscilla? The real number, not the spreadsheet number. She was quiet for a moment, doing math I suspected she already knew by heart. Around 31,000, over 2 years. almost double what I'd calculated just from the vague entries. She'd clearly been hiding some of it even from her own records, paying certain debts in cash, skimming small amounts here and there that never made it into any spreadsheet at all. Frank isn't the only supplier behind, is he? She shook her head. Two others. I've been juggling who gets paid first based on who complains loudest. I thought about my grandfather building this place from nothing. My mother holding on to it through her illness because it meant that much to her. And Priscilla, who loved it too in her own way, but had let something break quietly inside her until it started breaking everything around it. I didn't yell. I didn't storm out. I just sat with the weight of it for a while, the bell above the door ringing faintly as a customer left, completely unaware of what was unraveling in the kitchen behind them. I need you to stop managing the money, I said finally. Today, not as punishment, because you need help and this diner needs to survive, both of us figuring that out separately. The next few weeks were some of the hardest of my life, but not in the way I expected. I called Frank first, paid off what we owed from my own savings, and asked for a payment plan on the rest to avoid draining everything at once. He was more understanding than I expected. Family stuff, he said. It happens, just keep me in the loop from now on, would you? I did the same with the other two suppliers. Uncomfortable conversations, but necessary ones. Priscilla and I sat down together and I told her I wasn't cutting her out of the diner entirely. It was as much hers in spirit as it was mine. But I was taking over the books myself, remotely, with full transparency, no exceptions. And I told her as gently as I could that she needed real help for the gambling, not just willpower and good intentions. She cried. She apologized more times than I could count. Some days I believed every word. Other days, I still felt that hollow ache of realizing someone I trusted completely had been quietly lying to me for 2 years. She started attending a support group 2 towns over. Slowly, carefully, she began rebuilding trust the only way that actually works, consistently, over time, not through apologies alone. I hired a part-time bookkeeper, someone with no personal ties to the family, to handle the accounts going forward. Priscilla kept working the floor, the part of the job she'd always genuinely loved, the part that had nothing to do with numbers at all. It's been almost a year now since that phone call from Frank. The diner is stable again. Every supplier is paid on time, every month, no miscellaneous entries without a receipt attached. Priscilla is still working through her recovery. There have been a few hard weeks, a couple of setbacks she was honest with me about instead of hiding. That honesty, more than anything, is what convinced me she was actually trying. I think about that spreadsheet sometimes, how easy it was to trust because it looked organized, because I wanted to believe the person managing it. I don't think Priscilla ever set out to hurt this place or hurt me. I think she got caught in something she didn't know how to climb back out of alone, and it slowly ate away at the thing she was supposed to be protecting. It's been almost a year now since that phone call from Frank. The diner is stable again. Every supplier is paid on time, every month, no miscellaneous entries without a receipt attached. Priscilla is still working through her recovery. There have been a few hard weeks, a couple of setbacks she was honest with me about instead of hiding. That honesty, more than anything, is what convinced me she was actually trying. I think about that spreadsheet sometimes, how easy it was to trust because it looked organized, because I wanted to believe the person managing it. I don't think Priscilla ever set out to hurt this place or hurt me. I think she got caught in something she didn't know how to climb back out of alone, and it slowly ate away at the thing she was supposed to be protecting. I visit more often now. Not because I don't trust her, I do, cautiously, the way you learn to after something like this, but because I finally understand that love for a place or a person isn't enough on its own. It has to come with attention. With actually checking the numbers instead of just believing the story someone tells you about them. The bell above the diner door still rings the same way it always has. Some mornings, standing behind the counter pouring coffee for regulars who have been coming since my grandfather's time, it still feels like nothing ever changed here. But I know better now. And that, more than anything, is what's kept it